Hi, and welcome to this introductory video of Genie Voice Command for ZBrush. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Genie Voice Command to work with ZBrush and go over the user interface and the basic functions of Genie Voice Command for ZBrush so that you can get started right away. Okay, before you install Genie Voice Command, it's best to have ZBrush closed. So that when you open up ZBrush, you will have a new menu in the plugins folder. So I've already installed Genie Voice Command for ZBrush, and I just started ZBrush. And if I come here to the plugins menu, you see you have a new menu item here named Genie Voice Command. If you open that up, you can see it's a very simple menu. There's only 3 things in here. There's a button to start Genie Voice Command. There is a button to repeat the last voice command that you gave. And then there's a slider. Now this slider changes depending on what voice command you used. Like if you say draw size, this slider controls draw size. Now when you say draw size and this menu will open up, the numbers of the slider, see where it says 128 right now, will automatically be highlighted, so you could just enter in the number pad on your keyboard. Say you wanted a brush size of 300, just enter in 300 and hit enter in the number pad on your keyboard. Or you could use the actual slider control to change the size. Okay, there's not a lot of functions that have been programmed onto the slider, but there are a handful of very useful ones. And just because it's easier. But most of the time when you're using sliders, you're using more than one slider. And so it's more like you're going to open up the menu to move those sliders around. And with Genie Voice Command, it's very easy to open up a menu. You just say the menu name followed by the word menu. So you could say stroke palette, and the stroke palette will open up. Or you could say, let's try to find a different one. Like you could say twist menu, and the twist menu palette will open up. And there's the sliders there. So instead of trying to say twist rate slider, you can just say twist menu, and the twist menu will open up, and then you'll have your sliders right there. And it will open up wherever your cursor is. It'll open it, so you don't have to come all the way over here to do it. So if you're working over here and you say twist menu, the twist menu will open up in this general area right here. And then you can get to the sliders. Okay, so the very first thing that you need to do after you install Genie Voice Command, the very first thing you need to do is come here to the plugins palette, come here to the second button. See, it says number 2, repeat voice command. You need to set a hotkey. Now the default hotkey for Genie Voice Command is Alt-G. So we need to set this button here to Alt-G. You can see there's nothing set, there's no hotkey set because it says press to repeat last voice command, period, and then there's nothing after that. If there was a hotkey set for it, it would have the hotkey. And so we want to set it to Alt-G. So what you do is you hold down the Control key on your keyboard, the Alt key on your keyboard, and then you left mouse click on the button. And then you can see in the upper left it shows you little instructions which are normal to tell you to press your key combination. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key and then the G. There we go. Now we have set the hotkey for that button for number 2, repeat voice command, to Alt-G. And you can see it says press to repeat last voice command, period, Alt-G. Now, when you go to close ZBrush, now it will ask you, it will say, hey, the startup hotkeys have changed. Do you want to save it? Click yes, you want to save it. Then you never have to set the hotkey again. It will remember this hotkey, and you don't have to worry about it after that. So now Genie Voice Command is ready to be used with this ZBrush. So you just click Start Voice Command and it will start the program. Now I have to have the program open, so I'm just going to go over to it, and here it is. This is the user interface for Genie Voice Command for ZBrush. Okay. And here you can see current hotkey is Alt. Well, %sign equals Alt. I don't know what that symbol is. I don't know why. That's Control, and plus is Shift. And if you wanted to set it to a different hotkey, you would just simply, like, say we wanted to make it Alt K. Now the hotkey for Genie Voice Command is Alt K, and then you have to go back in, and this just gives you the instructions on how to do it. Same thing that we just did. Hover over that, not over here, but you have to come back into here, hover over here, hold down Alt, Control, click on it, left mouse click on it, holding down Alt and Control, or Control Alt, hover over the button, left mouse click on it, and then do the key combination that you want, which is Alt K, and then it would have Alt K. Right now, because this has Alt G and this has Alt K, the two have to match. They're not matching. So let's set it back to Alt G. So there's Alt G. Now it's matching. Okay, so now it'll work. And as soon as you hit these in, this is saved automatically. So when you close this program out, even if you change it to say Alt K, when you open this program back up, restart Genie Voice Command, it would say Alt K. It remembers the last one that you put in. Okay, and like I said, you only want to change that if, say, you have a different plugin that happens to also use Alt G and you need to change it. And of course, then when you close Genie Voice Command, when you close ZBrush again, it will ask you, hey, it's changed. The hotkey, startup hotkeys have changed. You want to save it? And you say yes. Okay, so let's go over the user interface here. Okay, down below, since we're doing these little inputs here, you have an accuracy confidence, and this kind of gives you an explanation of what accuracy confidence is. The accuracy confidence is what percentage does the computer think it matches whatever you said. Right now it's set to 80%. 1.0 is 100%. Right now it says current accuracy is 0.8. 0.8 is 80%. So it's going to be, that's 80% confident that whatever you said matches a voice command inside the program, inside Genie Voice Command. Now wait. Let's put that.
Start listening for me to wake up, or press the wake button.
Okay, so now what we just did is we put it into sleep mode. Now sleep mode it's not going to respond to voice commands because it's sleeping. So you might want to put it into sleep mode to answer a phone call, or somebody, somebody's coming in to talk to you for like 10 minutes. You might want to put the program into sleep mode. Now you can put the program into sleep mode simply by saying the word sleep, and it will go into sleep mode. Now you can wake the program up either by pressing the wake button, or you can say start listening. Now it didn't wake up because I'm also in toggle mode. Listening mode is toggle mode. Now toggle mode is kind of like if you've ever used a CB radio, or you see like airplane pilots in movies, they have the...
Now wait. Say start listening for me to wake up, or press the wake button.
Okay. Where they hold down the button and talk into the microphone, and then they let go of the button. It's that sort of mode. But in the toggle mode, what you hold down is either of the shift keys on your keyboard that acts like you're holding down the button on the microphone. And you say the voice command. You'll hear a beep. Now the beep means that the voice recognition program, Genie Voice Command, has recognized that you have said a command, and then you have to let go of the key. Now I usually use the shift key, but you can use the middle mouse button, or you can even use the right mouse button, or you can use the Alt key on your keyboard. Any one of those you can hold down say the command with your voice, you hear a beep, and you immediately have to let go of the key or the mouse button, and then it will execute that command. Now that's good if you're like in a very noisy environment, and for some reason, it thinks it's hearing a voice command, and or maybe you're just one of those people who you just want to use a couple of the functions with Genie Voice Command, such as save or import or ZRemesher or Dynamesh, that you only use it occasionally, but that the few times that you do use it during the day, it's much more convenient to be able just to hold down the shift key, say the command, and let go, versus hunting through the menu to do whatever you want to do. Okay. The other mode, which is the default mode when
January 11th, 2020.
Okay. So, okay, so the open microphone mode is the default mode for Genie Voice Command when it first starts up. And open microphone mode means the microphone is on, or I should say that it's listening to everything that's coming in through the microphone, and as soon as it hears anything, it will immediately try to execute that command. Okay, so that's what open microphone, and that's the fastest way to use ZBrush. I mean Genie Voice Command for ZBrush is to have it in open microphone mode, so that you don't have to do anything other than to say the command. Now the program recognizes a command. How it divides up the commands that it hears is silence. Silence before the command, then the voice command, and silence after the command. So if you're going to give a series of commands in a row, which you can do 2 or 3 commands in a row, is you got to make sure you pause in between each command, so that the program knows that these are individual commands. You know, you can't combine commands together. It only knows individual commands. But you can say them in fairly quick succession, but you just got to make sure you do pause. Now, when you're normally using it, you don't normally pause right before you say command, because you're normally not talking. You're working away in ZBrush, and you're quiet anyway. So that's going to be the silence before the command. So you don't have to really think about silence before the commands that you say, to say the command. You know, and then most likely you're not going to be doing a bunch of commands right in a row. You're going to just be saying like, you're going to say like clay for the clay brush, standard for the standard brush. So you could say, so if I were to say sleep.
Now sleeping. Say start listening for me to wake up, or press the wake button.
See, I just put it into sleep mode. So that's what those 2 modes are for. And you can also put in temporarily. If you're in open microphone mode, you can put it temporarily into sleep mode by just holding down the shift key. So that if somebody comes into your office and they just want to ask a quick question, you just hold down the shift key, you answer them, you let go of the shift key, and now you're back to work. Okay. You have a reset button to reset the program that will turn the program off, and it will turn it back on and restart it. Like I said, you have the sleep and awake buttons.
Say start listening for me to wake up, or press the wake button.
Okay. See, normally you're not talking like this. You know, normally you don't have these programs open, you're normally not talking like this. You're just working away. So, but because I'm talking in the microphone, it sometimes hears the words wake and stuff, and it'll wake up. Okay. Or it should be start listening.
Now
See? Because I said that. Sleep. Sleep.
Now sleeping. Say start listening for me to wake up, or press the wake button.
Okay. We also have a help search button here. So this is to help you find voice commands. Now normally most voice commands that you do are just going to be whatever is written on the button in in ZBrush. Whatever's written on the button in ZBrush, over 90% of the time is going to be what the voice command is. So like Z-remesher, you just say Z-remesher, and it's going to do that, you know. And so, you know, but sometimes they're not. And so, so if you wanted to, so this is here to help you figure out what the other voice commands are. Sleep.
Now sleeping. Say start listening for me to wake up or press wake button.
Okay, so you'd say help search, and this will open up. Okay, now with this open, you know, you can search for different things, and this gives you instructions on how to search. You can search by using your voice.
Now wait.
Why does it keep opening? Okay, so when this window opens up, there's two different ways you can search for information, such as where is the button located and what voice commands control that button. Okay, and down here it gives you instructions on how to do each one. Like if you want Z-remesher to say you couldn't remember where Z-remesher is, you just say Z-remesher info. No pause between Z-remesher and info to say Z-remesher info. And if you're in open microphone mode, a little window will open up with the information for the Z-remesher. If you don't want to do that, you can also type in Z-remesher and click the search button. And here's a little example of a window. The button name is Z-remesher. That's what's written on the button. The location is in the tool palette in the geometry menu. And the voice command to activate it is just Z-remesher. Okay. Oh, now let's come back to here. Okay. So now there are buttons that have the same wording on the button and are located in that do different things in different menus. So you can't just use that word. So copy, this is an example. There's the word copy, and this is giving you an example. If you hold down the control key while you're hovering over that, this will open up and you can see what the button name is, and you can see that you look for the last colon. So the button for this one is actually A period copy. So if I type in A period copy, and it's in capitalization and all that, is you want to make sure it's exactly the same.
Now wait.
And you click search. Here it is. It's in the array mesh. And there's the button name. That's the button name, A copy. It's in the array mesh underneath the tool palette. So tool palette array mesh. Here's, if you want to activate it, here are the voice commands. Copy one stage is one way you can say it. You can say copy array mesh or array mesh copy. Now you notice it's the button name, what's written on the button, and the name of the menu that it's actually located in. So copy array mesh, which makes sense. Copy array mesh. Now you can also say array mesh copy, because that's the menu it is, and then the button name. But copy array mesh actually grammatically is more correct. So that might come to mind more easily. But you can say it either way, or you can say copy stage 1. Now others, such as let's try edit. Now there's the button name is edit. That's what's written on the button. Location, it's in the transform menu, and it's this now. This one is a toggle mode. Okay, this is toggle. Let me do that again. This is toggle. You say the word edit once, it turns it on. You say it a second time, it turns it off. So that's what toggle on off means. So if you just said the word edit, it would turn on the edit button, in the location of the transform palette. And it's the same edit button that's up here. It will turn it on. You'll see it turn on. So you just have to say edit. It'll turn it on. It'll turn it off. But there's also other edit buttons elsewhere. There's underneath the brush palette, underneath surface. And see, and it's brush noise edit, or edit brush noise, or surface edit, or edit surface. Because see, these are the menu. Remember the menu? Surface edit. So the name of the menu followed by the button name, or the button name followed by the menu name. And then I also have edit surface noise, edit or surface edit noise, edit brush, surface noise. All these commands do the same thing. Now they activate the edit. That means it's like clicking on it. It activates it. Let's see what else we have. There's also one in the surface, in the tool palette underneath surface. See, there's tool surface edit noise, or tool edit surface, or tool surface edit. So that was that. Okay, here's another one. These are only closing on their own because I have the voice recognition going and I'm talking like I'm talking to the camera. So the computer is constantly going, hey, did she say a command? Did she say a command? And then if it thinks it did, it does it. Okay, so here's one under the tool palette underneath surface. Oh, we just went over this one. Okay. Here's another one. It's under the file palette. So it's file edit, edit file, edit note, file edit notes, file edit note, edit notes. But you see here, it's in the file menu, file edit, edit file. Okay, so so that's how you can find out what are the other voice commands for a particular button. Most buttons have multiple different ways you can say they have multiple voice commands to activate that button. And a lot of buttons are, let's try Dynamesh. Did I not do it right? Okay, I messed up in that I didn't capitalize the M in mesh. Capitalization really matters. There we go. Okay, so you have the Dynamesh, and it's telling me it's within the geometry. And to activate it, you just say Dynamesh, or you can say Dynamesh on. Now this is what I call a toggle button, in that you press it once, it turns it on, you press it a second time, it turns it off. So Dynamesh, you can either just say the word Dynamesh and it will activate it, turn it on, or just say Dynamesh on and it will turn it on. And then to turn it off, to deactivate it, you just say Dynamesh off. There's only one voice command to turn it off, and that's Dynamesh off. Okay, so let's close this. Oh, and let me demonstrate. I'm going to demonstrate, instead of typing it in, how you can punch it in. Now I have it on toggle mode, so I'm going to have to hold down the shift key. You'll hear it beep, and if everything works right. Now, if you notice, this is a little bit lighter blue. That means this doesn't have focus. So I have to click on the window and see it turns darker, so it has focus. Okay. See remesher info? There we go. And you heard it beep, and I let go of the button, and it popped open. The button name is ZBrush. It shows you where it's located, and the voice command to activate it is ZBrush. Okay, so let's come back to here. Okay, now I'm going to put this into open microphone mode. Let's see, it is
Open microphone now active and listening.
Okay, and if you click on this,
I am already awake.
it's already saying that you're already awake, so it wasn't sleeping. Okay, so now it's in open microphone mode. I'm going to go back into ZBrush and I'm going to do some demonstration, a quick little demonstration. Sphere 3D, edit, make polymesh, wireframe, front, right, left, top, bottom, front, chrome, red wax, red clay, red wax, Dynamesh, undo, ZBremesher, undo, and yeah, that was just a really quick demonstration. Let's see. UV map menu. See, it opened up over here. So you can open up different menus just by saying the name of the the name of the menu followed by the word menu, and it will open up. Let's see. Let's go. If this was closed, polypaint menu. See, and it just popped open. There it is. So yeah, let's see. Whoops. Brush size. Move. Standard. Clay. Move. Freehand. So you can see, you can say things very, very quickly, and so it should really, really, really speed up your work, because you're doing things just with your voice. You know where they're at. You know the command that you want. It's just much, 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 much faster. And so awesome. So I know this was a long introductory video. It's almost a half hour, but I think you can see once you get it set up, once you get used to the voice commands, that most of the voice commands make sense. They're just whatever the, like ZBremesher or, whatever it is, there's just the name of the button that you're used to. You just say it,
January 11th, 2020.
So you can just say the command that you want, and pretty much everything is in here. You can say frame and it will frame it. You can say actual and it will do the actual. Most of these that you see out here are just those single word, whatever it is. The polyframe here, you can say polyframe. I say wireframe because I come from Maya and I think of wireframe. So I programmed that in here. You could say polyframe to turn this on and off, toggle it on and off. You can say polyframe turns it on, polyframe turns it off. You could say polyframe fill, and that will turn on the polyframe fill, and that will be off. So it will look like that. You could say, so there's all sorts of things. Now polyframe is an interesting one in that if I hold down the Alt key here, or the Control key, you can see that okay, so the polyframe, you can see that if I hold down the Control key and hover over it, you can see that the key name, the name of the key is PF, which I'm sure stands for polyframe. So that's what you would put into the search field, is just capital P, lowercase f, and you hit enter. and that will give you all of the different commands for this button. And there's a lot of them. There's the polyframe to turn it on, toggle it on and off. There's the fill setting. There's also the line setting. So this one button has actually quite a few commands to turn it on and off, and depending on what you want to do. So that all of these are in there and are programmed. So yeah. So anyway, so that's Genie Voice Command for ZBrush. I think once you really get going, and like I said, I think most commands are going to come to you just naturally. You're going to know what the command is, the name of it, and you're just going to say it. So most of them will come that way. There will be a few here and there that you'll have to learn, but I hope that I've showed you that you can figure out what those voice commands are with just, with not that much difficulty. So awesome. So thank you for buying my Genie Voice Command, or thinking about buying it. I hope this video demonstrates it. I do have another video that is just a quick demonstration video. Thank you very much, and happy sculpting.